don't know anything about.
But like I said, it's been cleared up. It was cleared up yesterday, but I don't know if the interest was paid. And I'd just like to ask Tony kind of why, you know, that's not monitored.
We talking about Millennium.
Yes, sir.
David, you part of Millennium, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
Come up here and take clue us in. I want you.
I'm David Wild, and I am part of Millennium Partners. Engineering was paid Friday, if you want to be factual about it.
This Friday? Thank you.
And for your information, the mayor had nothing to do with getting it cleared up. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting with the mayor, what,
2 weeks ago, and I did address it with Tony, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that that it was cleared up from our conversation. It's contrary to that, I know we had a conversation, you said they were going to pay it anyhow before that was brought up. But I did have a conversation with the city.
yeah, 2 weeks ago, but if you go back and if you want to get detail, or if somebody else wants to get detail for you or whatever, January the 10th, we sent an email to Todd Morgan to ask what the summary of charges were for Millennium Partners. And we got that statement. It's getting ready to go out to bid for the 4th time. Now it's going to be a parking deck only. And if you want to know the whole story, we'll go back and start from day one. We bought the 2 buildings down there with no intentions of city involvement, grants whatsoever. We're going to put a parking deck or a parking lot on grade. Before we ever closed, we got calls from downtown merchants. Please don't tear the buildings down. You know, it's going to be an eyesore. It's going to be a missing tooth. We said we need parking. One of our major tenants said if we do not get the parking, we're going to move. So we're landlocked where we are. So we bought the buildings. And our intentions were to put a on-grade parking lot. After we purchased the 2 buildings, we were approached by downtown merchants along with the city. Is there anything we can do? And then it was brought up about moving some money from the Marshtown College project to downtown if we could tie the parking deck into the overhead sidewalk. So we come up with a plan. Wild Building was going to build the parking deck and the offices at no profit, no overhead, to get it within the grant money. And Millennium Partners was going to proceed forward with it. Then, as everybody knows, there was a couple of people that questioned the validity of Wild building and receiving grant money, even though we were not receiving any profit or overhead for the project. But we had it within the grant money. And we also had an email from the state saying that if we did move forward with it, that we could bid on the project as Wild Building being part of Millennium Partners. So we spent several $1,000s. As a matter of fact, we've already paid $65,000 before we paid, and to correct you again, it was actually $62,000 we paid Friday. So we spent $127,000 on design fees. We're going out for our 4th design, which is another $20,000 that Millennium Partner is picking up. And as you all know, we have to come back to the city and ask for any of that money. But we were in partnership with the city to build a parking lot, parking deck, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to continue on with our commitment to build that parking deck as it was intended. The only difference now is you're going to have 3 retaining walls. You're going to have brick on the Main Street side. It's going to be decorative. We're going to make it as appealing as possible, but there'll be no offices below because the 3 bids that we received, we can't get it within the budget to do so. But we were in a partnership with the city, and our intentions were once we got the bids in and we could receive a bid to build the offices, we were going to go back and refinance our property and include the cost of the offices and the parking deck. Well, we realized it's never going to happen to put the offices underneath. So we have a meeting with Millennium Partners that agreed to go ahead and clear up all the bills because there's not going to be any refinancing basically for the parking deck, which is, I'm just giving you all the information since you seem to want to know. Again, on January the 10th, we called, one of our partners emailed and got the total amount. We went to the bank and we restructured our loan. And it closed last Friday. I think what the mayor's referring to was happened last Tuesday, or Monday or Tuesday is when it was brought to your attention.
Now, we're gonna clear this up when you finish.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the emails, we have the bank meetings, we have the Millennium meetings of Millennium Partners that we can show you was way before we heard anything from Tony or the mayor that it was gonna be cleared up. And we understood we were in a partnership, and we as business people and private citizens from Morristown, we didn't want it looking bad downtown either. And we're gonna continue on our commitment, it's gonna be built. But there'll be no offices down below. And again, as you well know, there will be no city dollars in this project. It'll be a public parking lot leased to the city for no value for 25 years. So we felt like we've done our part and we'll continue till it is done. But the main point is, when we bought those buildings, we didn't ask for any of this. You know, we've tried to be good stewards and good citizens and good business people and come forward, and that's where we are today.
And y'all were approached by the city when you.
With Downtown Merchants was who we were approached by. And of course, they went to the city, and it was a joint partnership, if you will, between all three.
You know, David, I'd like to tell you, I think what you all have proposed there and working with the city was great. I mean, that's how things get done, public-private partnerships. But I just think it's a crying shame that all this stuff is going on, and it's just gonna be a parking deck now. I mean, that, you know, those offices, to me, every little bit that can be done down to that downtown is what's gonna revitalize that, or not revitalize it. So, I hate that those offices have gone away, but, you know, I understand your position, and you know, I commend you for sticking with it this long.
And look, I want to clear up a remark you made about his position in our meeting, so I think I'll give the floor to you after we finish clearing up his remarks. First, I want to preface my remarks with, as you and I have discussed, I think it's great when you see a partnership between private industry or private individuals and the city. I'm an advocate for that. But I want to clarify a remark you made earlier. You said that you were taking care of it before I brought it to the city administrator's attention. When I brought it to the city administrator's attention, he said he wasn't aware that you were that far in arrears. And when I talked to Todd, he said they were trying to work with you. So my assumption is, whenever I brought it up, since he wasn't aware that you were that far in arrears, that he didn't know about it, you did not have any arrangements with him, and therefore I said, now I'm in a position where I must ask for that to be paid. So there must be a communications problem somewhere, David, because the city administrator was not aware that you were going to make those payments earlier. And I just want to clarify that. I'm sorry that I've been put in the middle, but when someone brings to the mayor an outstanding debt, it's over a year old, I have no option but to move forward and collect it. And I know you have no intent of not paying. I know that's not your intent. And I think we talked about that. And I understand that. But I will tell you this. If Tony was told that it was due, he wasn't aware it was that far in arrears when we talked. So I must assume then that some action had to be taken, and I took the action that was necessary, but it wasn't only because it was brought to my attention it had to be handled. It has nothing to do with the project.